Hello and welcome to the center of your entertainment galaxy. I'm your GM in the Great Barrier, and we're here today with something a little different. As much as we do in our tabletop campaigns, sometimes our players have ideas which we can't get to or just don't think of in the moment. While some of these scenes can be reworked, there are other ideas that just never make it into a session. As such, today I'm pleased to introduce Star Trek Adventures The Lost Scenes. Think of these as canonical supplements to our existing tabletop campaigns. With every segment, I will start up by setting the scene and providing some context, and then letting our players just go from there. Today's scene is set just after Star Trek Adventures Aegis Season 2, Episode 1. The Changing of the Guard. At the end of that episode, Sheara received an official commission to Starfleet and promotion to Lieutenant Commander so that she could be made Executive Officer. This conversation would have happened after that episode, but before Aegis properly left space dock. So, just before the mission actually launched. Our scene starts with an orbital view of Earth and the Tasaki shipyards. Gantries and space stations hang above the atmosphere filled with Starfleet vessels. Smaller escorts like the Ganges and Intrepid-class cruisers, and even a few Daedalus-class vessels, which are either undergoing construction, refit, or resupply. The Aegis herself is parked in one of these dockyards undergoing final preparations for its own departure. On board the bridge of the Aegis, the newly promoted Lieutenant Commander Sheara steps off the turbolift and stands before the door to the captain's ready room. We intercut between the bridge and ready room as the two characters speak. In the ready room, the captain is working at her desk, poring over paper star charts.
Sheara will approach the door of the captain's ready room and push the button.
The captain is having a light drink, cigar, kind of smoldering, half taken, and she's looking through some papers at her desk. Come in.
Yula head in. She's looking attentive and a bit nervous. Definitely new job syndrome going on.
Lieutenant Commander, she says with a small smile.
That's going to take some getting used to.
Better than citizen.
It's a lot better than citizen, yes. Wearing this uniform, I guess, is better than citizen as well.
You'll get used to the uncomfortability, she says. Sets a data pad down and reclines back. How can I help you?
Yes, so I'm just her antenna will twitch a couple of times as she's trying to find the words. I've only been in command of teams of people, small teams.
Mm-hmm.
The first real chance of controlling a full department, and now I'm executive officer.
Well, you did pretty well taking command of the security department.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. It's just what are my duties?
To be honest, you know what? Sit down.
She'll sit down in the seat opposite, slightly on the edge of the chair, and still looking a bit nervous and attentive.
Out of character, is she on duty still? Not on duty?
This is probably not on duty.
All right. So. She'll just get up and open a small little drawer. You want a drink?
Yes, please.
You want something Terran, Andorian ale?
Let's go with an ale.
She just nods, gets you a chilled glass, sets it down in front of you, pours about 2 fingers worth of Andorian ale.
Oh, thank you. She'll take a sip of it.
Got it from your personal hero.
Really? This is from Commander Sheara?
Mm-hmm. Trade a few other things here and there. Indulgences.
Oh, I'm sure it'll taste good.
I've been enjoying it so far. She pours some for herself. So, she sits back down. To be honest, Eula, it's not that different from being head of security. You're managing people more than you're managing your own minor station. You're basically a babysitter, trying to keep an eye on making sure that all the other department heads do their job and do it effectively. You listen to my commands, and you try to carry them out in a way that would be efficient for this crew. Get to know this crew as best you can, how they function, their flaws, their quirks, how to talk to them. Become their best friend, but also their boss.
Best friend, boss.
Mm-hmm. You're the older sibling. Anything the parent says, you try to make sure that it gets done in the best way possible. Make sense so far?
Yes. Yeah, it does.
While certainly I can probably ask or suggest a bit more details or finesse with my commands, sometimes it comes with interpretation too. People shouldn't come to the captain, they should come to you first. You are the manager and troubleshooter.
So basically, I'm there to filter things from you. So super important issues do need to go to you, and I deal with
the small minutiae, things that get in the way of duties on the ship.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. She'll take another swig of the ale. Yeah.
How heavy a swig?
A reasonable sip. It's a mouthful, probably.
Yeah. Sharpe does it like just a very experienced small sip. She nurses her drink.
Okay. So, another thing.
Well, let's make sure you're done with the first thing.
Oh, no, this is still with the first thing. Just another thing of the first thing.
All right.
If I end up disagreeing with an order you've given, how do you expect me to approach you regarding a disagreement?
Well, as would be current, rather typical etiquette amongst the ship, if the XO has a problem with the captain's orders, you express it to me privately. But when it comes to public, I am infallible, as the captain always typically needs to be the beacon and spirit of the ship itself.
I know what happened around the Andorian weapons
It was
issue
my
we
own
had.
fault, and
I know that can't happen again in public.
She nods. Certainly, as an XO, you are basically my right hand. You are my hand, as it were. When I'm done, you do it for me, and I can't have you having issue with that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You're an extension of my will.
I am your will and your hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to keep myself clean then. She'll smirk a little.
She smiles. Thankfully, this is just a frigate. If it was like a bigger ship, you'd probably be more or less the co-mayor, secretary of a mayor. A settlement, practically. Moving settlement. She smiles. And be glad we don't have kids aboard.
Why would a ship have children?
She just shakes her head with a smile, takes a sip of her drink.
Starfleet won't ever be that stupid.
Who knows? Especially when it comes to deep space missions, it can get pretty lonely. And certainly in some ways, adults can get pretty bored.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's never been an issue with the Imperial Guard. They just let people get on with that. I've not looked up Starfleet's recommendations on relationships and that area.
It's a complicated affair, but it can happen, does happen here and there. Try to be responsible. Hasn't quite yet happened in out in space to a degree of it becoming a concern, but she gives a shrug. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, no, you're right. And honestly sounds like a medical issue.
Any other questions regarding your duties?
I think that's it for now. I was planning just to go round and meet all the department heads and just see what I can do for them, and maybe also do a day or two in each department, just seeing what issues they have.
She nods. Not a bad idea. You also get to know their teams and what they have to work with. She takes another sip of her drink and takes another take of her cigar. There is something that Patel helped me with here and there that I could use your own discretion.
Oh, what's that?
Especially with the mission ahead, there will be times where moments will be quite long and boring with nothing in between. And
Yes.
while I certainly keep to my duties in an effective way as possible, off duty, I can at times indulge a little bit. And given the fact that I must keep a immaculate impression, when I do indulge in those a little bit, I need you as cover.
I'm covering for you getting drunk.
In my own quarters.
Well, as long as it stays in your own quarters, that's fine with me. I'm sure you know I occasionally have a drink too, so
They don't have them very often, but when I indulge, I get a bit gets a bit excessive. So I
right.
appreciate you ensuring that the crew remains unknown.
Oblivious.
You know,
Okay, I can do that. I can cover for a occasional drinking session.
that is appreciated.
Yes. Do the medical staff know?
Lambeth is aware, as I have frequently approached him here and there,
Right. I guess for hangover curing.
and the occasional time where I was forced to become quickly sober.
Mm. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I can do that. She's taking some mental adjustments going here. Clearly not quite expecting that to be along the list of duties, but accepting it.
Every captain has their quirks, she says, looking at Sheara when she's doing the mental gymnastics.
They're those interesting quirks.
I'm sure you'll have a few yourself when you get around to my rank, if you don't already.
Well, I guess we'll see. So, how long are we going for?
The upcoming mission?
Yeah, there's all kinds of rumors. There's like, oh, it's a 5-year mission. It's a 3-year. Oh, we're going for 6 months.
We're not going for 6 months. That's more or less a milk run and something we're not doing that short of a mission. No, she sighs. She's like puts a cigar in her mouth, looks around as it's burning through various books. As you notice that her desk is kind of cluttered with tablets, books, paper maps, and she just kind of folds around, tapping. Let's see, over here. No, here we go. She pulls out like a folded map and sets it down.
Is this actual paper?
I like to. Feels kind of nice.
It feels well. I suppose it doesn't run out of a battery power.
Look, the current moment's a 2-year mission, 2-year deep exploration mission. We are Starfleet, after all, and as much as we've been going through the political hubbub here and there and trying to keep the sector and the quadrant stable, the fact is we need to find more allies and certainly broker more of an understanding of what's further beyond the lines drawn around Earth. So, while certainly we're going more Ridward, she taps the edge of the one side of the map. Our current first stop is toward the Arachnid Nebula. And from there, we go further on, deeper towards the edge of the galaxy, and seeing further out in another direction of what's out there. Explore
Right.
strange new worlds, seek out new life.
So that's 2 years. 1 year out, 1 year back.
The theory. Deep space missions can extend a bit longer, but that is the current allotted and assumed year track.
Beyond communication range for the vast majority of the journey, I take it?
We're bringing buoys with us. Or at least I'm trying to scrabble to collect a number of subspace buoys, despite the general's attempts to block me, she says with a sigh.
I'm sure you'll be able to get them.
We're gonna have to make a few pit stops along the way. I have a few ties here and there, and I could use a few markers on your end.
I'll speak with Commander Shran and see if he can help at all. I fear if I were to go direct to anyone in the Imperial Guard, they would very quickly end the communication.
She nods. I didn't think you'd be talking more directly. The fact of the matter is, we're collecting what little supplies we can here, given everything that's going on Earth and beyond. I'm pulling quite a few favors from my own connections amongst the fellow Makos and Starfleet, and my wife's connections, in order just to get as much resupply as we can. We're still going to be a little short, and given the time frame, I expect to use this subspace eddy right here to shortcut us quite a few months. So we won't be in, she puts air quotes, civilized space for very long.
Should be an interesting voyage.
I've already made a few markers about a few waypoints, way stations, rumors of colonized worlds to make resupplies. Most of them are pretty well supported in facts. Some are a bit more sketchy, but we do have the facilities to work on it, and if not, we can build facilities along the way.
Hate to use the V word, but had the Vulcans looked to provide any assistance?
Even though they had, obviously, didn't take as much damage as, say, the Andorians did, their Velocis regime and the Romulan incursion has certainly messed them up politically.
Good.
I can try a few things, but I don't know if I can trust it at the current moment. And I don't think even T'Pau can either. Archer's doing what he can. Well, but Archer's already pulled a lot of favors just to get this mission in.
Well, I guess it's important to do all this exploration.
We need this exploration.
I know you've pushed for this, but why the Aegis? I mean, Starfleet has Enterprise, Columbia is pretty much ready to go. Why this old rust bucket?
She leans back, stands up, takes another puff of her cigar. Do you want the long answer or the short answer?
Let's go long.
The Enterprise and Columbia are needed here. The Enterprise is the flagship of the very small Navy that is Starfleet, and they have a lot more political objectives that need to be done here in order to just keep what we managed to keep afloat to remain afloat. The Columbia itself is also our only other ship of the line that's any capability of being a long-range defensive ship outside of, say, the Franklin. But even the Franklin is limited in scope. So they're needed here. And we don't have very many ships to spare to begin with. The Aegis has shown its capability of handling itself well, and given the fact that the Daedalus class, it's fairly disposable. They're already repurposing and taking other Daedalus classes out of mothballs as fast as they can, especially with how fragile the diplomacy is.
It's an expendable ship.
Relatively.
Understood. That makes sense.
We're also the most put together. We're already experienced crew that has already shown that we can handle mid-range exploration. Now we're asked to do long-range. Also because I, myself, personally wanted the Aegis on this mission.
Could you have got another ship?
I don't think I have that kind of capital. She says with a small smile. Given how much I'm struggling even now just for the Aegis alone. I'm not exactly a veteran captain, she says, like gesturing to herself. Her almost 30-year-old self.
Got a bit more experience than your first officer.
Marginally. But thankfully it's the help of Captain Archer that I have actually managed to get the project even on the table. We need allies. Sure. We need to show that we're not some warmongering empire. We need to try to bring more peace and stability. And with whatever has enslaved the Romulans are trying to ensure that the Alpha Quadrant that remains as chaotic as possible. This mission is to prevent that.
Then I'm sure it'll be a good investment of resources by Starfleet.
Starfleet, or rather Mako, once is paranoid just as much as the Vulcans, Andorians, and everybody else in the Alpha Quadrant. And I can't really blame them.
I don't think it's paranoia when there are people literally trying to get you.
She just nods. The fact is, everyone wants to huddle up and prepare for what's ever coming next. And given how badly the damage has already been done in the Alpha Quadrant, we can't exactly look to each other for the support that we wish for. Reaching further out, finding better trade agreements, creating more friends, that will ensure a better peace. And if anything, that's kind of what Starfleet was hoping to achieve in the first place, was a union, as it were, a peace. We shouldn't let whatever's further forward get in the way with that.
I'm sure we'll be able to at least spread some goodwill from Earth to whatever civilizations lie beyond.
And there's probably plenty. I'm not gonna lie to you, Sheara. She sits down to drink and a cigar. It's going to be quite the trip. From what I've heard, rumor-wise, there's gonna be a lot of surprising things. But I know that you and this crew can handle it.
I'm just thinking, time we get back, I'll have not seen my family in 3 years.
Why don't you message them? Send a message.
Oh, I message them regularly, whether it's just a short transmission or whether it's a proper face-to-face call. It's just not quite the same, is it?
I suppose not. Kind of gives a sad smile.
Are you, I mean, not to pry too much into your private life, but you'll be 2 years away from your own family.
2 years away from my wife. My own family is a bit of a mess. She's getting side eyes, looks out the window, and hopefully we'll never have to deal with that in particular. And if we do, there's something I need to talk to you about later. But for the moment, yeah, it's not exactly I see my wife very often either. We have our own jobs. We all focus on careers. And that often leaves us apart here and there. And as to Visenia, she just shrugs. That's a whole other mess. But it seems that Visenia and Athena do well together. So at least they're not entirely alone.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm glad your wives are getting along.
Sounds so weird. She just shakes her head with a smile.
It's weird for you humans.
Oh.
I'll have a wife and 2 husbands, or maybe 1 husband and 2 wives. Who knows?
Right. It's of 2 pairings, right? For
2 pairings. It's all complicated. For instance, I'm pretty sure my dad loved my other dad more than anyone else.
That's sweet. She sits back down. I don't know how to express my. It's not often I talk about my love life, so she gives a shrug. But they are doing well. Visenia is getting used to living on Earth, and she wishes she can go out more, but given the threat that's out there,
And the fact she's a wanted criminal?
Wanted criminal is not that big of a deal for her.
Well, might be for the people who want her.
Problem is, who wants her? Which is why she's on Earth. Yeah. Enjoy your time with your boyfriend?
Yes. Had some very nice time in, what's this place called? Canada.
I heard that you got a little overcrowded by guests.
Yeah, apparently that half the ship thought it was a social gathering. I'm gonna have words with Alaska about privacy.
I don't think you should tell Alaska things unless you wish for the entire ship to know. Half the time.
But occasionally I need to tell her so she knows. That'll be a conversation at some point.
You do know. She pauses. Like her sort of expressions like sours a slight. You do know, Sheara, that as close as a friend as Romanov can be, she is your subordinate and should be treated as such when it comes to duties.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Do not slacken because of personal affection.
No, not at all.
She just gives a nod. Well, is there anything else I can do for you, Lieutenant Commander?
Sheara will finish her drink. I think that's all. I think knowing how long we're going to be away, I'm going to start looking at getting in a few extra supplies.
I think that'd be most appreciated. Which, by the way, she says, when you're the other duty when it comes to being a lieutenant commander, as I am sure you've already been pelted by, but there are a number of things that need to be checked off and signed by you before we leave the dock. She like kind of reaches under the desk and pulls out like a freaking like 8 stack of data pads.
I guess I'll be taking those off your hand.
These need to be signed completely. Look through, signed, and dealt with by 500 tomorrow.
So sleep isn't part of the job requirement.
You find where you can. She gives a small smile.
Guess I've got no time to lose.
She slides it over to you. Have a nice night.
Thank you, Captain. Sheara will pick up all the data pads and begin to awkwardly carry them out of the room.